Hi folks, Piney Woods Prepper here. There's seems to be a lot of talk going around these days about a MAG or a mutual assistance group. Basically, they're just a group of like-minded folks who agree to work with each other during an emergency or crisis. Simply put, it's a group of preppers who pool their skills and resources to make it easier for the members of the group to survive in times of disaster. And this discussion today will highlight the pros and cons of such an arrangement. So that's a general definition of a MAG. Are you a member of such a group? If so, why? And if not, why not? I'll just go ahead and say up front that I'm not a member of a MAG, at least by that definition, and I'll explain more about that later. Under the right circumstances and with the right people, I think a MAG is a great concept. In general, a MAG is not unlike a military unit. It's very structured with hard and fast rules. The greatest advantage is that you can assemble a group of folks with a wide array of skills. Few of us possess all of the skills that are needed to not only survive, but to thrive in a crisis. Just think of the skills needed in such a crisis. First off, there's a need for a qualified leader. He must have people skills. He must be able and willing to make a decision in a timely manner. He must be willing to enforce the rules. He probably should have a military background. After all, he'll likely have to make some tactical decisions in the heat of battle. Now, I use the term battle loosely. It could be any crisis situation. But enough about the leader, and notice I said leader singular, not leaders plural. One person has to be the primary decision maker. Well, there could be and maybe should be a committee to handle non-essential decision making, but one person in charge is paramount. Other needed skills are maybe other military personnel who have experience in conducting training in marksmanship, controlling the perimeter, as well as other duties. One essential skill is someone with a medical background. This could be a doctor or nurse or a first responder, and they would need to be able to treat an injury or an illness or even a gunshot wound. Another required skill would be someone experienced in food preparation on a larger scale than a typical household. Then there's a maintenance person who's your typical handyman who can fix just about anything that needs fixing. Hopefully he can repair a weapon that doesn't work or is otherwise unreliable. Then there are the grunts, those who actually walk the patrols, who stand guard and who man the LPOP, who help the cooks, who help the medical personnel, um, maybe even digging latrines and other sanitation duties. You also need a comms person for obvious reasons, preferably a ham radio operator. I'm sure there are other duties that I haven't thought of, but the point is there are many duties required to support such a group. Now, as to why I'm not a member of a MAG, in a perfect world, a group such as this would be great. And that's not to say that even in an imperfect world, such a group might not be functional, but the only way to know would be for a group to be together for an extended period of time under duress. They have to be able to determine whether or not they could be a cohesive unit. Just meeting once a month for some training falls far short of that determination. You know, in the military, you have the UCMJ, or Uniform Code of Military Justice, and they have clout. But a group of civilians have no such power and no way to discipline a member other than to kick them out of the club. And that option brings a whole different set of problems. Would you want a disgruntled former member disclosing information about your personnel or about your location? I know I certainly wouldn't. Now, what I didn't tell you is that while I'm not a member of a MAG per se, I do have several neighbors with similar mindset to mine. We've talked about it, and it's pretty well established that when things go south, we'll have each other's back. One goal I have is for us to set up a communications network using walkie-talkies. And we could set a certain day of the week and a certain time to get on the air for roll call, mainly to test our equipment and check on each other. Then we could chew the fat for a few minutes if we wanted to. You know, I don't think any of us are more than half a mile apart, so we can drop what we're doing and be there just in a short period of time if there's a need. In fact, when one of us needs a little help around the place, we're there to help. We know each other and our families, and between us we have many of the skills that we need. A couple of the guys are welders and have good mechanical skills. I'm a ham radio operator, as you can see, and I serve as a medic in the Army. Our families have some great cooks and kids who aren't afraid to get dirty and who are willing to do what needs to be done. So, are we a MAG? Well, I suppose we are in a loosey-goosey sort of way. You know, I know a lot of folks would love to be a member of a group, but can't seem to find anyone in their area who are interested. I suggest talking to family, friends, or close neighbors and try to put something together. There's a sense of safety and security in a group like this, even our loose-knit group. And I think one problem is, in my estimation, most groups are very structured and tight-lipped about themselves. And I can't say as I blame them. You know, you never know what three-lettered agency is snooping around. Like our group, you don't have to be a tightly structured group. We serve the same purpose, only in a much more relaxed and informal way. So, my friends, that's my take on the MAG situation. If you're a member of a MAG, let us know in the comments how your group is structured. I wish you well in your search for a group. Take care, my friends. This is the Piney Woods Prepper saying, God bless, and be safe out there.